What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Media Showdown. It's not the same without the crew here, but that's what you guys know it as. And this is the Media Showdown open panel. But today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be reviewing some content. Now, usually I review content over on Hennessy Reviews, and I don't really do that over here. Over here is more where we gossip and we get to it, okay? This is where I guess you could say it's like the home of Chrisean. So I will be spreading some of her Chrisean between both channels. So if you are not following Hennessy Reviews on YouTube, please make sure that you are doing that. And if you're not following Straight Henny Media on IG, go like the page. Go like the page over there, because there's times when we don't post on reviews, but there's always something that gets posted on Straight Henny Media. Just bear with us, because now we're getting ready to get into some type of scheduling or something, because we gotta, organize just a little bit. But at the end of the day, there's a great team that is doing their thing over there. And I have great panelists that come up here with me on Mondays and Fridays that help make Media Showdown what it is. But I decided that there is stuff that is going to be happening on a daily basis, and because everyone has lives and they did not sign up to be a part of the panel, I don't want them to feel like they have to be here every single day. But if they can jump on these extra days, then that's great. But other than that, we do also open up the panel for you guys to come up so that you guys can talk about the things that have been going on, and that your voice gets heard as well, not just in the comments or comments put up on the screen, but you can actually come up and y'all can voice your thoughts, feelings, whatever it is. You come up here and you can voice it, as long as it's respectful. Keep it cute, or you get put on mute. Now, if you are a member over on Hennessy Reviews and you watch the Sunday services with us, we watched an interview that happened with Sara Mia. Sara Mia is YouTube, send the invite to me once you start the live. Oh, okay. All right, got it. So Sara Mia, who is of Faith City Central Church, that is Chrisean's home church, sat with her and did an interview. Now, we caught this. We didn't even know that this was something that was going on. I've been trying to find the interview by itself. I have not been able to find it by itself, but it doesn't mean that it's not out there. But before the church service started, this interview was going. So we are going to review the interview. And if you are following on Hennessy Reviews, you will see that I did clip up a couple of parts from this video. I did not clip up a lot of, there it is. I did not clip up a lot of it because I thought, people were going to be able to see it, but I see that people have not been able to see it. So this, as you can see, is from our members group. Like I said, on Sundays. Now, this was a great interview, but I'm not going to talk to you guys majority. Like, I'm not gonna hog the time, is basically what I'm trying to say. Okay, so now let's get into it. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I think I should do that. Okay, is the screen big?
All the time, but no, like, I'm genuinely excited. My guest has taken the internet by storm. There was a point in time I could not log on to social media without seeing
it's
her.
Still a point in time, okay.
It's still
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Y'all,
it's a joke, but it's the truth, baby. You still can't log online and not see Chrisean, because no matter what she do, she gonna be there up and down your timeline. Okay.
Help me welcome Chrisean Rock. Hey, girl.
Hey, Sarah.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Okay.
So you just performed your new hit single YAHWEH for the first time ever.
Shout out to Pastor Mike and Dr. Didi and all his family, his kids, because for making this happen.
Yeah.
Josh, Bree. Who else be? Man, y'all cutting up over here. I need a family like this.
How you feel?
I feel exhilarated.
Yeah.
Off the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I got the kingdom behind me. But for my obedience.
Yeah.
So
Junior joined you on stage.
Chrisean Jesus.
Chrisean Jesus.
Yeah, because I took the junior out.
Okay. Chrisean Jesus, her baby boy, joined you on stage. How has becoming a mother affected your walk with God?
Oh, it's like a humbleness.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the sensitivity that you unlock from being a mom. And then that sensitivity is like sensitive to God too. So
Yeah.
it all connects.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Was it important for you to like set an example for him that you would be proud for him to follow?
no, it wasn't just that. It was like a tugging
Yeah.
from like it was a tugging
Mm-hmm.
like I can tell like God was telling me like you need to get right from him.
Yeah.
Like you need to lead him right.
Mm-hmm.
And you got this. So that encouraged me more. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I ain't mean to say no,
No,
but
you're
okay, cool.
fine. Okay, so you
I feel like she answered that question. Um, she spoke about feeling a tugging and a pulling for her to be better for him. And I think, the two mesh together, right? Because for anybody who's a parent out there, and I say who's a parent because not everybody who watches is a parent. Um, Anyone who's a parent, that tugging that you feel, okay? At some point in time, you look at your child and you just like, dang, I got to do better. You know what I'm saying? You've had that moment. So I feel like that's the moment that she's like describing. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but that's what I got from that. Like she's explaining like how the two intertwined with one another, being better, doing better for your child.
have not historically released gospel music, or have you?
No, I never. This is my first time.
What made you switch over?
Conviction.
Okay.
So it might not be your conviction,
Mm-hmm.
but like the more you get closer to God, your convictions get louder and louder.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Facts again. Facts again. Even those of us who may have gone into freelancing, so to speak, um, there's a conviction that comes over you where the things that you once did, and the reason why I'm stopping it there to explain it is because I have to remember that I have that age range, right? From 15 to 65 up. So I'm being trying to be responsible with the information that's being given and explaining it. That conviction, when I said last night when we were watching Nick Jones and reviewing his apology and what he had originally said, I said that when you're doing things that are not pleasing, that there will be a pulling, a tugging. There'll be something, God will remove it from you. And that's what she's describing, that tugging, that pulling, that separation where you may want to go do this thing, but that conviction hits you, that guilt, like I know I shouldn't be doing this, and you'll turn away from it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what she's saying. And I honestly, she's spoken about God, but she's never done music. And I just honestly see her going in a different direction and being more successful than what she was prior to.
So, I opened up saying there was a time where I could not log on to social media without seeing you. What are some common misconceptions about you that you would like to clear up?
I mean, I like to be a voice where a lot of people can relate to that. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people hide the dark, the, the weak.
Yeah.
So I embraced it in a weird way, where it was set up in this way for God's glory, though. At the same
Yes.
time, so it's a
Mm-hmm.
testimony.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm just glad that it was very impactful because a lot of people go through it and it go unnoticed.
Right.
So the fact that I went through it and it went noticeable
Mm-hmm.
to the point where people can like be inspired to, I don't know, overcome.
Yeah.
So the adversity is crazy. I don't know. I just want to thank God. I just want to thank God.
Yeah.
All the things He
Today,
got me through. I don't know.
no, that's beautiful. And I
Like,
just think about the altar call today. All those people that came to the altar to give their life to Christ. And it's just like, it's important to know that we're all disciples, you know? Like our life is a story to show other people about Jesus. And it doesn't matter like what you've done, where you've been, your life is still like a beautiful example. How did that make you feel seeing all those people come to the altar?
It was a lot of younger,
Yeah.
so I was kind of like, I see me in them in their faces, and then when they like I make eye contact, I can just see God like
Yeah.
I don't know unlock something, and I don't know like I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's overwhelming.
I don't mean to laugh. Sometimes I just laugh at the most
No, I had
awkward
to laugh it
times.
off too.
But no, I
Dang.
completely understand.
Yeah, like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I was that kid that came to the altar.
I'm glad that you said that. So if you could talk to baby little girl Chrisean today, what would you tell her?
Trust what you already know. Because
Yeah.
God dropped these things in your spirit, like 8 things, like a
Mm-hmm.
couple of them. Like that's why a lot of people be doing like 10 things at one time.
Yeah.
But if you just lock in with that one thing He dropped in your spirit,
Mm-hmm.
all the rest will follow.
Yeah.
Everything that He dropped, it just start lining up.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know. So you have Yahweh.
I haven't been doing interviews. So
You haven't?
no, this is like my first one.
Well, we're getting your feet wet.
Ugh.
Yes. So you have Yahweh.
Yeah.
Do you want to do an album?
So I got a 7-song tape that's coming out.
We didn't know about that.
That's okay. I don't like making announcements.
Okay.
A 7 song. She's dropping a 7 song. She said tape, but we know that it's an album, a 7 song album. I think that's an EP. I think that's called an EP. One of the things that I love about this is the vulnerability. Now, we've watched her have interviews with other people and she has the wall up. And remember, I was saying that when she interviews with Jason Lee, it's like a level of transparency that's there. With Sara, there's no wall up. Like she's completely vulnerable right now. And I like this because we're seeing it pure. You still can't, excuse me, you still can't hear. I think it's because I turned the volume down when I was watching with you guys, that the volume may be down, but let me mute myself.
Okay. When are you releasing it?
Um,
You got to think about it.
No, when it's done.
Yeah. What are you going to be talking about? What themes are going to be on there? You can take your
I
time.
know. What if we, okay.
No, take your time. They can edit anything out.
They don't have to edit none of this.
Okay.
I think if we keep the raw is better.
Your tears are beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so
Okay.
serious. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you again.
Okay.
So, what themes are on the album? What can your fans expect to hear from you?
My testimony.
Okay,
Because I feel like we put church in a box or something, or God in a box.
Yeah.
And it's like, we are the church.
Mhm.
So that's a whole nother word, though.
It is.
It is. And you like, come on.
Yeah.
Nail it, land it.
Yeah.
Tell us. I don't know. I mean, I know. It's just I don't want to say it wrong.
I understand.
Okay.
But I want you to know that I love you. Of course,
love
our
you back,
pastor
period.
said that they love you. And
I
I'm
definitely
so
feel the
proud
love.
of you.
I'm glad
Yeah.
that I can start home because, like, it's something about when you start where you started at.
Yeah.
And then, like,
Mm-hmm.
you branch out and you partner up, but it's
Yeah.
now they're partnering up with Faith City, not just
Yeah.
Chrisean. Like, that's all. I'm
Yeah.
honored. Like, I'm like, shoot, I got Faith City on my back. That's cool. Pastor Mike is anointed.
He is.
For real. And then it's like, it trickled down to his kids. Like, I see it, like, in real life. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, man.
Are we going to be seeing more of you?
I've been in church.
She has been here. She's been here like 3 times this week, y'all.
Oh, because
4.
I slowed down.
Yeah. That's
I got
good.
some. Oh, see, I don't want to announce what's going on.
It's okay. You can hold it.
Yeah, God bless me.
Okay. She has some exclusive information, but she's gonna tell y'all at a later date.
Yeah, Lord, yeah.
But y'all don't have to like be missing her or okay, I'm over here. Y'all don't have to miss her. Y'all don't be like, man, we had her that one time. Like, where is she? She is going to be here with us, and I am so happy because she's on a beautiful journey. So I'm just asking,
it's crazy
when you see her,
I just unlocked it like today.
Really?
Yeah, like I haven't been taking books. I took a sabbatical from being an artist, being whoever, Chrisean Rock.
Yeah.
And then I just want to be named.
Yeah.
Chrisean. Like that's what's engraved.
Yeah.
On Jesus' palms. Like your name, Sarah, is engraved on Jesus' palms. So I don't know. I just want to rock. Like just be right.
I like that.
Right beside Christ.
Yeah.
That's it.
So okay, so we're not doing Chrisean Rock right now. She is
Never,
Chrisean. Yeah. So we're going with Chrisean.
So I'm about to go change that because we just heard from her directly from the horse's mouth. She does not want to be Chrisean Rock. She's just Chrisean, the name that is written on Jesus's palm. She's Chrisean. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to retitle this video to just say Chrisean. And now we've got to stop calling her Rock. Okay, because now we've heard it. And I believe she said it before that she didn't want to be Chrisean Rock. She just wants to be Chrisean. Matter of fact, she did say that when she was having that moment in Crazy in Love, that heart-wrenching moment. But now she's asking to just be called Chrisean. So we got to get used to calling her Chrisean, just like we have to get used to calling the baby Chrisean Jesus. That is her request, so we have to abide by it.
And she is beautiful. So when you see her, I want you to embrace her. I want you to love on her because that's what we're called to do.
Sarah too.
Yes, me too.
Yeah,
and it's my new taco buddy.
Oh yeah, but she added her little gifts and talents too. When I start picking her brain, what you get into?
We're gonna talk tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes. All right, we have to tell them bye. It's time for service.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
Oh, praise the Lord.
So it is time to sit back, relax. Faith City Music is coming up, and Chrisean's
I'm a part of it.
Team. Yeah, she said she's joining the praise team.
No, I'm joining Faith City Music.
Yeah,
I'm a performer, not a singer. You feel me?
Yeah. So you might see her up here, but y'all sit back, relax. Maybe.
Oh.
Okay, we gotta tell them 1, 3, have the best week ever.
I guess we can't tell you. Okay.
You ready? 1, 2, 3. Have the best week ever. Bye.
So that was the interview that she did. I love that. It was quick. It was simple. It was to the point. I love that. I love the way that the church is embracing her. Okay. Yes, I love her laugh with the scream in it. Like, I love it. Is it just me, or did you catch glimmers of, like, remember Goofy Chrisean in the YouTube videos making faces and doing her makeup and all of that before Blue Girls Club? When she was on Deshay's stream, I noticed, I saw a young Chrisean pop out in her facial expressions. I was like, wow. Like, it was beautiful. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up the panel for you guys, because we have had a lot that has happened. Okay. Over the weekend, we had Chrisean go and give us a Snapchat story time on things. We have had a potential new boo emerge. All right. We have had not so much the Zilla. Like the Zilla, she said one little thing, but not too much. What else have we had? She was with Huey Nacho last night in Baltimore. We've had Whack come out and speak with his Whack PP liquors. Okay, breath smelling like a New York project elevator and staircase put together. And now we have the Nick Jones. right? And now we have this interview. So there's a lot that has happened. I'm going to take this time to drop down the link for you guys to come up. Sound off, let it know, let me know what y'all thinking, how y'all feeling about the stuff that's been going on. What do you think about this interview? Like, I really love this. I love this. I don't know who Sara Mia is outside of her being a part of Faith City Central. But I like Sarah's energy. I do follow her on IG, and I just like this church. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I lived closer because I would probably go. And it's not because of Chrisean, it's because of the way each person seems to genuinely care. Because if you watch her, she does these interviews with people often for the church, like on the church services. We saw her the week that Chrisean was getting ready to go up. She was interviewing someone else. And it's never a moment where you feel like she's being shady, or you feel like she's none of that. It's just always like that love. I don't really know the nacho guy neither, but he owns, I believe it's a taco place in Baltimore, and Chrisean was there. She said it was studio vibes. So I guess she was coming from the studio. That's the assumption. I don't know because we don't have the full story. But assumingly she was coming from the studio and stopped by there, and she tried out his tacos. And well, it was a beef burrito that she had, and she said it was fresh and that it was good. All right. So if you in Baltimore, go try out some Huey Nacho and let us know. Give us your review. I do see she said, I love Chrisean's goofiness. Love this church as well. I do too. Okay, I do too. All right, Pastor Mike is real, absolutely. And last night we did do the review of the apology that I don't know if it was an apology, but it seems like it was an apology, but whatever. I don't know. I don't really want to talk about it no more. I did pray about it. If y'all want to know, I did. Of course, I knew you were coming. Hey, Pop.
Hey, it's a feedback. You hear it?
It's a no.
It's a feedback on my end. Oh, okay,
I
as long as
don't.
I'm good on your end. Hey guys.
Are you guys still hearing a feedback?
Okay, so we good.
Okay. No feedback.
Hey.
All right, you guys. Hey, Pop. Welcome. I knew you was coming to hit that link. I knew it. I was like, as soon as I drop this link, Pop is coming up here. And I'm not gonna say who else I thought is coming up here, but even if you guys don't come up here, because I know a lot of you don't have the ability and the capabilities to come up because y'all are at work. But I wanted to come and I wanted to review it. What are your thoughts about this interview? Poppington.
I hear you. I'm
What do
sorry, I
you
got rid of the feedback on my Listen, I've been having a terrible 48 hours, okay? I have crutches. I can't kick people.
Who are
I
you
can't
trying to kick?
I don't know. I might have to kick somebody. It's my right foot. I can't drive. I can't kick nobody. Can't hold the door open.
You
I'm gonna
don't
go to
need to
jail for
kick
assault with a deadly
anybody.
weapon because I'm gonna hit somebody
No,
with these crutches.
no, ma'am. No.
I'm talking. I'm just popping my ish. But yeah, I fell earlier. Thanks, Miss. No, I don't know if it was Miss Pammy or somebody else, but thank you. When I said I've fallen and I couldn't get up in the chat earlier, you said you was coming to get me. I don't even know where you live at, but thank you. You was the only one that said you was
I
gonna
didn't
come
even
get
notice it. I'm sorry.
me. I got to get used to these crutches.
Are you going to tell the people what you did?
I didn't do anything. Okay, I didn't break it. I just stepped on it. I stepped on some glass, guys, but I didn't break it. Yeah, one of my kids did it. It's always your kids. And now I can't use my right foot. So But I didn't do it. The kids did it. They did it. I didn't do it. They was trying to take me out, y'all. I don't know why. I've been a good mother. They was trying to take me out.
Stop making me laugh at you. She gonna say to me last night, I can only wear one slipper and hop with the other one. I got one slipper and a hop. Don't make me laugh at you. But this is why Poppington dropped yesterday. When we
Yes,
was
I'm
like,
sorry.
okay, where's Poppington? She had dropped down. This is what happened. Hey, welcome up, welcome up.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. You sound really familiar. What?
Everyone
Michelle,
says that.
you do. Hey, Michelle.
Hi.
So what is it that
I've
you would
never
like to
been
say?
in studio before. I don't know. I've been around. I the first time I ever saw Chrisean, I'm a 55-year-old grandmother of 14.
Oh, wow.
And one of my grandchildren had YouTube on, and she was pregnant with Chrisean Jesus, and she was crying.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, look at that baby. And I just bust out crying because I remember that. I
Mm-hmm.
remember that pain. It just hit my heart. I remember that pain. And I've always seen Krishan the way I see her right now. I've never seen nobody else but the Krishan I see right now.
Right.
And family would ask me, why do you watch that girl? Why do you believe in that girl? Why do you support that girl? Because I've always seen the Krishan that I see right now. I knew that she was going to be who she is now because I always saw that innocence in her. And I just said, you know how people say, I'm just going to stick beside her. And I
That's
just said, I'm
it.
going to stick beside her. She was going to she's going to grow in her own time, in her own way.
Right.
And, you know, she's going to continue to have mistakes. She may continue to go. She's only 25 years old. I'm 55. I went through some stuff too.
Listen,
I,
I know
hey,
people well into their seniors that still make mistakes, that are still apologizing for things that they did years ago. You know what I'm saying? Still trying to correct things. So I don't know why everyone has this particular level of perfection that they expect out of her. Even when she was in the world, there was like a level, an expectation of how she should be, what she should do, who she would be, who she should be with, how she should dress, how she should sound. Put your tooth in. Don't, why are you walking around without? It's always been some harsh criticism on her.
I fell in love with her the day I saw her. And I have an 11-year-old granddaughter who looks exactly like Krishan. Look when she
Oh,
was a
wow.
child. And I tell her, here's my little baby Krishan. And she says, why you say that, Grandma? And I says, you pay attention. I talk to her and I try to explain to her the things that can happen in life. But I have 6 granddaughters, from 4-year-olds to 6-year-olds to 22-year-olds during graduate from college and 19-year-olds. I have everything, okay? So, in the grandsons. Hey, I went through a lot. I was a 32-year-old grandmother. I
Oh,
went through
wow.
a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I had my first baby at 16. I went through a lot. I know the pain of being with a man and sticking with a man for 10 years and who wasn't no good. I went back 7 times. He meant me no good. I went back to him 7 times. So people talk about how Krishan keeps going back to Blueface and she might not be done, and how she keeps on loving him. I went back 7 times over 10 years.
Well, listen here. Even when people say those types of things, at the end of the day, you still have that dude that you keep. Everybody has a person that they. Everybody has that story. I don't know too many people that don't. I mean, there are some people that don't have that story, that met their person in high school or in their teenage years, and that's been their person their whole life. But that doesn't mean that they didn't go through hell with that person in order to get to peace. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So everybody
Mm-hmm.
has those types of stories, and sometimes the stories turn out good, and sometimes the stories turn out even better. And when I say even better, that means that you separated from the situation and life elevated for you from there on. Everything is a lesson. So all of the judgment, the harsh criticisms, and all of that, listen, you
And
have
then,
to,
yeah.
you will leave when it is time for you to leave. And in the meantime, as a person, all you can do is stick beside them, because I know when people go through those things, the main thing that ends up happening is isolation. People end up leaving, people turn their back, people jump ship on them, people betray them, all types of things. So when that happens, they're left in a level of isolation where it's just them and that person. But I feel like as supporters, if we support her, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to always be here. It's not a matter of, I'm just gonna leave her. We don't have to like what's going on, but we don't have to voice that either.
No, just stick beside them. You know, you just stick beside them, and that's like I do with my grandkids. They say their little stuff. I just stick beside them, even my children. But that don't mean I gotta leave her and stop supporting her. I'm not a fan. I support her.
Exactly. Thank you. There's a difference. There's a
Mhm.
huge difference.
I just support her. I'm like, she needs people to be there when, whether what, whether what, you know. And then the other thing that happened that I have a similarity is I had my children, and then I was with the man who I was with for 10 years. The man I had my children with was my high school sweetheart. Well, guess what? He came back after those 10 years, and we got married, and we're still married. We're still married now. Now. So we've been and so that was a 35-year time period of me and him. So, and we were fighting at first, and that's how we broke up. Now I was in that 10 year, then we got back together later on after we matured with the children. He was my
Mm-hmm.
child's father. So you never know what you may need to break away from each other for a while to learn life, to grow up. And that's what me and him did. We broke off, went in the world, learned ourselves, learned each other. I still got it with another bad person. Then I learned myself. I found God. He went and learned himself. But me and him stayed friends. And then we came back together and finished raising our children. So you just never know how life is going to turn. And for all these people to have their opinions of telling her what she should do with herself or her child, like she said, take it to God. And I
That
keep
part.
saying mine, take it to God. And matter of fact, work on your own self. Because you can't tell me all these people with all these opinions ain't got something to work on.
Hello. Well, I
I'm
want
gonna
to
let somebody else
welcome.
talk. I'm gonna let somebody else talk. But yeah, I definitely know they need something to work on themselves.
Well, thank you
All
so
right,
much for
y'all.
sharing and coming up. I appreciate you. Hey, Mama Zay.
Hey, how y'all doing?
I'm good. You on the road again?
Always on the road. I don't know how to sit down.
Well, what's going on?
My issue is I listened to that interview, that bullshit apology this morning while I was driving. I am 49 years old. I had my oldest daughter when I was 15. My mama kept us in church. We was in church all day, all week. And it irks me how this man, supposed to be a Christian, is talking about the, her issues. And you don't know her. You never took the time to get to know her. You just talking about, it's like he wants to openly accept her, but he doesn't want to lose his following. So he's like, the way he was talking to her, I just don't like how people take, I don't like bullies, first of all. I grew up, I was bullied, and I went through bullshit when I was growing up, even after I had my daughter, and all through my years of school. So when I see people talking about Chrisean the way they talk about her, it it touches a part of me. You know, she's young. She's going to make mistakes. She's going to go back. She's going to trip. She's going to fall. But the part that matters is when she gets up. Like she says in her post, I woke up. So every day she wakes up, God is going to give her something else. You know, it's her journey. And everybody that has a journey, you're going to make mistakes. Half of these grown ass people talking about her are still making mistakes. Hell, I still make mistakes every day, you know? But every day is a learning lesson. It's something to grow from. And she's growing. She knows what Blueface is doing. And she knows she has to walk away from it, but her heart is still tied up in it. And when God is ready, to take her completely away from that, He will. It's not on our time. It's not on nobody's time but her and God. Everybody talking about accountability. She don't owe nobody accountability but God. When
But you
God
know
is
what the
ready, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say what I don't understand is they act like everyone involved is without fault or that everyone
Exactly.
involved doesn't have something that could be talked about.
Exactly.
And the first time
Exactly.
you start bringing up something that someone else that's involved in this immediate circle right here, whether it be Carlissa, it be Blue, it be Jaden, it be whoever you bring up that they feel the opposition feel like you shouldn't be talking about, they start dragging her into it. And it's like everybody has a fault and a flaw. Hell, we see it being exposed all over the internet every day. But the thing about it
Exactly.
is there's a difference between um I feel there's a difference between constructive criticism and just straight out hate. And even when it comes to constructive criticism, I feel like that we can all have an opinion, but constructive criticism only comes from people who know you, who love you, who care about you, because that's the only way you're going to receive that.
Right.
A bunch of strangers getting up here talking crap about her every day ain't making the situation no better or no easier.
Not at all. And the way they talk is like, as to me, like I sit here and I've shed tears reading on these social media sites how these people are talking about her. Like it's disgusting. It's really disgusting because just because your life is not like that, God has a funny way of making you go through the same exact thing as that person that you're talking about.
You better speak
And,
on it.
and you could talk about this person or that child or whatever. Like I joke, like I used to work in a prison when I was pregnant with Brooklyn. And it's this little boy, his name was Lot. He used to do all kind of stuff with his face. And I used to pick at him. And I look at my daughter sometimes when she be talking, I swear to God, she look just like that boy. So you have to watch how you talk about people and how you, especially God's people. Because that
Exactly.
girl is God's people. Her baby is God's people. And you have to
That's
watch how
right.
you talk about God's people because he will bring you right back to it. Like that song used to say, if you're gonna dig one dish, you better
Dig one for yourself. Hello. See, and the thing is,
dig two. Be sitting there by side. But that's
wait a minute. You cut out. You
But she
still
was in
there?
the matrix. I think she went in the matrix.
yeah. I'm still here.
Okay, because you had cut out for a minute.
Oh yeah, I'm still here. But
Well,
yeah,
yeah, I was
it
agreeing with you,
has
but
to
go
stop.
ahead. Huh?
Yeah, it has to stop. I'm just saying this. It has to stop. I'm in the middle of the boondocks, so if I cut out, that's just because I'm still driving. But
Gotcha.
it has to stop. And it's crazy. I don't understand it. I don't understand the hate for the baby. Like, if you don't like me as a grown person, I can take it, but don't come for my daughters. Come for my kids, because I will fight you over my kids. I'll just brush you off my shoulder if you're talking about me, because I have heard it all. But my kids are still growing. That baby has to grow up,
Yeah.
and he's growing up in the light of hate that was started by his father and continued by his grandmother. It's just ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
I totally agree with you. And I've seen that actually happen and experienced it myself. Um, there was a girl that I was cool with, and I kept saying to her, because she kept going back to this guy, kept going back to this guy. And she had this big old black eye. I mean, her eye was so black. And I said to her, I said, why do you keep going back to him? Like, girl, I could never. And a few years later, I ended up being with someone I never had that big black eye, but I did have other things that happened to me. I was in a domestic situation myself. And it was like it was a learning lesson for me, but at the same time, it's something that people don't even realize. Those same judgments that you place on others are the same judgments that you will have to face yourself, and you'll have to walk in similar shoes in a similar situation. And to me, I feel
Exactly.
like when that happens, that's you taking on a portion of someone else's testimony and now making it a part of your own. So, yeah, you better be
Exactly.
very careful about what you say, think, and speak of others, because then it will turn around, or them traps that you try to lay for other people end up being the traps that you end up in your damn self.
Yep. Exactly.
Well,
But
I do want to
but
say
I'm
this.
gonna
I
drop it
did.
down.
Okay, thank you for coming up, Mama Zay. I appreciate you.
All right, babe.
Hi, Mama
Y'all be
All
Dad.
right.
good.
You
You
too. Be,
too. Be
be safe.
safe. So, I will say this. Last night, after I did the review of Nick Jones, I did go and I did pray about it. Believe it or not, I did pray about it. I asked God to forgive me if I said anything or did anything that was out of line. Because it was not my intention to bash, drag, or any of that, but it was to point out and make it a teachable moment for people who don't understand what may have turned some people away from the experience of church. Um, and it's the weaponization of things as well. I didn't speak about, but I think I'll talk about that privately with you guys. Like we could have our members and have a conversation about that. But I just wanted to point some things out that it seemed like he was either purposefully overlooking or was completely unaware, because sometimes we do and say things and we're unaware of how it is coming off to another person, which is why conversations and communication is so important and imperative. Because if you're having a conversation with the person, then you're able to, you got to get past the emotions of a thing. You know, there's going to be a back and forth, but at some point in time, the back and forth has to die down and the conversation has to happen. And when the conversation happens, you can tell who's listening and who's not. Because a person who listens and cares will change the behavior, and a person who doesn't care will not change the behavior, but instead will continue on the behavior and then say you're doing something to them once they, even though you've already made them aware of what's going on. So for me, I feel like the back and forth already happened. Now he's apologized and he's still, or this was his version of an apology, and he's still going. So now to me, it looks like the conversation, I don't know if there's going to be one that happens at this point, because I wouldn't, I'm just saying for me, I'm not saying this is what she should do. I would not have, I'd say, okay, I accept the apology, but I really don't feel that was an apology. Like that would be me, but it's up to her whether she's going to receive the apology or if she's even watching his channel anymore. Cause for all he knows, she's probably not even watching him. But welcome up to the stage, Miss Pammy and Fat Dime.
Hi. Hello. Hi, Miss Papa Two. I'm
Hey.
sorry.
Hey, Miss Penny.
Hey, hey. Hey,
Is,
everybody.
are you behaving yourself today, Miss Pammy?
I am trying. I tried my best not to push this button. I did. I said, don't do it. Don't do it. And I put my tuna fish sandwich down to do it.
Well, we always like when you come up here.
So, y'all, here we go. I tried not to do this. Okay. My mom and I, before she passed away, we would always say, God knows before we know.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of things going on in my life that we just couldn't pinpoint. I had this 12-year-old who just was, thought like a 35-year-old, straight A's, had the weirdest mind ever. And then I got deep into church and, I started to put everything together. And, I didn't know my mom was passing. I didn't know that she had gotten to the point where there was not going to be any return. And I was deep in the church and, called up to speak. I hate speaking, but I did what, I did it. He said,
Mm-hmm.
up here, I came up there. But, when I go back and look at it, I really see his plan. My mother was not going to be able to rest without knowing that I was going to be taken care of. And I don't mean by man, I
Right.
mean by God. And I'm so glad that I did what I was supposed to do so that she could rest, so she could move on. Um, he has a plan for us. He has a plan for every last one of us. And there's not always going to be the thing that we want or whatever. I never would have thought of losing my mother at 37 and she's only 50. I
Mm-hmm.
thought she was going to be here forever,
Right.
forever. And you got to listen to him. And, I went through the thing of praying. I grew up in the church. I prayed for what I wanted. I prayed for that relationship with, y'all know I had a DVer, my ex-husband. I
Mm-hmm.
prayed for that. I was like, Lord, please give me the strength, to stay in this, da da da. And then, because I was back into the church, I was like, Lord, give me the strength to do what I need to do. If it is leave, leave. If stay, stay. You have to learn how to ask for what you want. I
That
was
part.
gone a week later. A week later. And I feel like people would have judged me if they knew what I was really going through. And so
Mm.
I kept it a secret. And what
Mm-hmm.
I need us to do is stop judging women that are going through something, because if you judge them, they won't open up. They will never get the help that they need. I kept it a secret from my family, from my friends. Everybody thought we was a cute couple, blah, blah, blah. And the lady who spoke before, she said she left on the seventh time. And I always say that the average woman will leave 7 times before she stays, if she can continue to live. Because sometimes they don't get out.
That's right.
Sometimes they don't get out alive.
That part.
And I think that's probably why a lot of women don't open up about what they're experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody at my job, I worked 11 and a half years with these people. They did not know what I was going through because I was good at hiding it.
Right.
And we're supposed to be open armed. People are supposed to be able to come to us. You know, I had a girlfriend that went through some mental abuse, and we even lost our friendship because she wasn't open to what I was saying as far as him coming to me, her guy coming to me. I had
Mm-hmm.
to be honest about it. But she came back years later and said, I'm sorry. I saw it. I had to choose him. And now I'm past that. And I said, what did I tell you when we last talked before we broke up friendship? When she's ready to leave, she'll leave.
She'll leave. Yeah.
And she did. When she was ready to leave, she left. But the biggest thing that I want to say about staying when you have children, because what made me leave was I had sons. And I didn't want them to think that this was the way that they were supposed to love their mate. You know, I had one that would take the blame for everything just to keep us from fighting.
From
And I
fighting.
couldn't
Yeah.
do that. I couldn't do that to these boys. I couldn't. I want them to love their woman. I want them to be able to have arguments that are normal, where you walk away and, you don't have to put your hands on, your partner. But if we don't open up to people and accept the mistakes that people make, accept the mistakes the person goes back, all you can do is support her and tell her that it's going to be okay. If you need help, I'm here. You gotta be open about that. I get tired of them ragging everything she does. It,
Right.
it's my understanding we're not supposed to cast any stones,
Nope.
but we will throw boulders We will throw boulders. How can you throw a boulder at somebody that's needing help? How can you do that? This
Right.
she's not a child. She's a grown woman. I was a grown woman. Okay. I was a grown woman. But I will tell you, society doesn't teach young girls what love is.
No.
They don't teach you. My biggest mistake my mother did, and she didn't even find this out on her deathbed. She stayed with my father who abused her, which made me feel like if my mother can do this and he changes, people, there's a silent lesson that she taught me that I know she would not have wanted me to get. My best friend, who finally left her husband, her daughter could hear it. When we are not looking at our lives wholeheartedly at what's really going on, it not only affects us, it affects your children. It could affect your family. My brother, when he found out that I had lied about all these times something was wrong, he immediately wanted to go and do harm. And that was one of the reasons why I never said anything, because I didn't want my people to wind up in jail because they're going to go get them. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So all my secrets, all the years that I hid this, when I went to court for my divorce, my mom insisted on going. And she found out everything
Everything. Yep.
in that courtroom. And I felt like this life that she thought I had is shattered. And
Yeah.
how is she gonna feel about that? But one of her friends told me after she passed, she came to me and she said, I want you to know that your mother admired you. And I said, what? She said, because you left. You left. You left. And I'm like, what? She said, you picked those kids up and you left. We got to do better. We got to do better. My stuff wasn't on the internet. I didn't have
Right.
to see it written. And people don't seem to understand that these younger people, you know what? A lot of people say, oh, these old women that be on there. I'm 60. You're only as old as you feel. And I don't feel 60. Not today. I mean,
But you know what? Let me just say this, because that be the thing. They come down in them comment sections, honey, and they be mad at me. And the first thing they want to say is, you grown, you too old at your big age. And
right.
First of all, because I'm at my big age,
Thank
because
you.
I've been down this road, because I've had someone similar to Blueface in my life, because I know what it is to have to fight for your life from somebody that you love.
Girl.
I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back that don't
Say
get
it.
that. I know what it is to fight for your life with someone that you love. Meaning, in case they even slower, this man that I love, that I done laid up and had kids with, is trying to take me out. And I now have to fight for my life against him. You don't know what people go through behind closed doors, and we don't know what she's going through behind closed doors. She's shared some of it with us, but we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And the minute that she says something, they be right up on it so that they can go ahead and try to drag and say it ain't so.
Right.
How can you say it ain't so when I pulled court docs? Now, those of y'all that been here when it was just Hennessy reviews and we were pulling all the court docs on Blueface. Did we or did we not pull a DV case between him and Jaden?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
That
we did.
existed before Chrisean came into play.
And if there's one case out there, there's more than one event that has happened.
So
And
for
everybody
me,
everybody forgets the violence started because he hit her first.
that
When we
part,
saw that viral clip of them in that bar, she
Yeah.
didn't hit him. He hit her first. And she was trying to calm him down before they got outside and started fighting. But how many times you gonna hit me before I hit you back?
but I'm gonna take it even further than that, because she said on Crazy in Love, you introduced this to the relationship.
Mhm.
So that, but prior to that, even that incident, it was introduced into the relationship. And the fact of the matter is, it's there. And the fact of the matter is, she's telling her story in bits and pieces. And the fact that she's coming out here and she's being so vocal, she's being vocal to put those who support her on alert.
Yes.
She's not being vocal to drag him because she could drag him. What has she truly exposed? Somebody riddle me that. What has she truly exposed? Or has she just been dropping little breadcrumbs about what's been going on behind the scenes? Because guess what? People forget. This ain't the first time that she's told us some stuff. This ain't the first time. She told us when she was pregnant.
Yes.
What was going on and describing the evil. And I'm sorry, you can't describe that darkness that be on a person unless you've come face to face with that darkness for yourself. And that's a darkness that anybody that's been involved with somebody who's had these character traits to them will know that's the truth.
Yes.
Because it's something about the way that a person describes it that hits you in a different way. After she did that series of Storytime posts, I was drained. A lot of us were drained. I couldn't continue with what I was supposed to be doing that Sunday. I had to go climb up in my bed and go to sleep. Like, it was triggering. And I know people don't want to hear that. But I also know there's people out there that have not experienced that. A lot of those people that be dragging her are kids. I've been telling y'all, they kids. We've known this for a minute. And when that person got up on that TikTok live and said what they said, it was a kid that got up there and said that. That wasn't no grown up. That was a tiny voice. That was a little voice. Like, not no little voice like a 10-year-old or nothing. But that's a teenager who hasn't gone through life. People don't realize the influence that they have. So now this means that we are now desensitizing people and taking people's stories that have transformed them, because once you go through that, you are never the same person on the other side.
Nope.
You don't
You're
see
never the same
same
person.
way.
So you downplaying somebody's experience.
Yeah.
Even his mama doing the same damn thing. But this is the same person who told us she had never been in a domestic violence situation. Yet she has admitted that she's been in domestic violence situations without coming straight out and saying it.
But with his mama, like I said the other day, that is secondhand embarrassment with his mama. That is all, now I'm looking at it on their side. It's all a PR stunt to not make Blue look bad. To be honest, because she knows her son. She's been there. She hasn't been the best mama. We know that from her and her kids and Auntie Letta. So
She's been one to show up and act a fool on whoever it was she was acting a fool on.
this is what I'm saying. So
Yesterday, Mr. Saffold said he called the police on her. Yeah.
But you could just tell by her behavior and her mannerisms. You know what I'm saying? But
that dream was an omen. Your house burning down. Sizzle.
And the crazy part is, let me tell y'all this, because I'm going to post Carlissa's live from yesterday over on Catch This Live. I'm about to start utilizing that channel again. But in that live, she said she was in there breaking the TVs.
But Chrisean is such a Power Ranger and all this other stuff. But that's, it's just like you said, Miss Pammy, they want to throw boulders and act like they holier than thou. Like, I didn't get a chance to speak on the fake apology, but I totally agree. People like that man right there, those are the people that push people out of church.
Yeah.
You're so worried about being popular because church is like high school now. At one point, church used to be really a safe haven. They help people get housing. Like, they used to save us. it turned into a popularity contest and a fashion show. And I'm not like, I always tell y'all, I'm a spiritual girly, but I have aunts in them that's really deep in the church. And I got family down south, and we're from New York. So I've been to both type of churches, and not for nothing, the church hat challenge is really a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Who
Well,
has
I'm
the best
from the
church
South,
hat?
so, and I'm here now. And no, I don't attend church like I used to. And I claim being more of a spiritual person than quote unquote a Christian, because when you go in that church and you open those doors and these people are saying, I'm a Christian, and you looking at them and you like, I don't, well, if you're a Christian, that's not what I want. I have my connection with the Lord, you know, I don't have to go there. Now, some believe that you have to, and I go every now and then. But the church is not always welcoming, and they're not always accepting. And when I was down on just terrible luck, I used to tell them that I didn't feel that I was worthy of the blessings that I got. And I would say, I'm in here, I'm coming, and then I'll slow down, and then some raggedy stuff will happen. So I'm not going because I don't feel like I'm worthy. And someone told me that's when you're supposed to turn to him. He wants you to turn to him. When you're down on your luck, you don't not go to him, you go to him. He wants you all the time. But
But
I have been abundantly blessed by not man. I just keep saying that. When I think about my life, it wasn't man that sustained me. And I know that it's a higher power there, because there's just no way that I would be where I am now. And I would
Miss
be there for people, for women who need it. If I could open up
Right.
a shelter now, I would. If I could go speak and say that, for him to pull a phone cord out and act a fool because you was with some friends, that's not love. We don't know what love is. That's not love.
Well, you know what? It's kind of hard to know what love is when you grow up in an environment where love is lacking.
Yes.
Because when love is lacking, what you equate, let me put it to you like this. What you equate as love may not even be love. Like if you grew up in a household and you watched your parents go through domestic violence, you watched them go through the warring and the fighting and the this and the that, you watched your father go out and you listened to your mother cry because he was cheating or whatever it may be. If this is what you grew up seeing, then you equate pain with love. If you grew up in an abusive household, you equate pain with love. And that's why you have people who feel like, there are females out there who feel like, you don't love me. You don't love me
If you're not
if you
mistreated.
don't hit me.
Yeah.
You don't love me if you won't hurt me.
Yeah. And that
You've got to hurt me to prove that you love me. There's a lot of people out there who have that type of a mentality because that's what they equate love to be. But it takes for them to realize and get into a situation where they begin to experience love in a different manner, on a different frequency. And then they began to realize that's not love.
I thought love was forgiving your person when they show out. I mean, if I
Mm,
really want to think about it, because my mom truly taught me that everybody has a good side.
mm-hmm.
And I don't think that was a lesson that she was really teaching me. But that's what I was getting out of her staying. That your person, they're going to get better. They're going to, I don't think she set out to teach me that, because she was living her own life
Right.
of destruction there. But as a young woman, that's what I learned, to forgive your person. They're going to get better. They're going to this. And that's why I kept mine, because I actually thought he was going to off himself. I did. I was like, if I leave, then he really going to fall apart. And, we just got to learn to do better in communicating with each other. Men need to talk to boys about how they need to to treat women, and women need to talk to girls about what you accept, and you know. But in cases like me, I'm a mother of boys, and we talk a lot of times, and I have no problem in telling them when they're wrong. I have one that thinks that, you know, women are supposed to bow down, and I will speak him out every time we have that conversation, you know. And we just got to do better as a people and stop being so judgmental, because some of these women that are not here now, if they'd have had a little help, if they'd have had a little compassion, if they'd have had somebody to say, come on, I'll help you do something different, they might be here.
You know,
Yeah.
we
Oh,
also have to raise our boys that it's okay for them to feel, because I feel like men don't have safe spaces to be able to be vulnerable, to be able to feel. I've watched so many, and this came after I went through a total healing transformation. I really have not even talked about that like too much openly, but I went through a total healing transformation, and I'm still not all the way healed, but I'm better than I was, trust me. And once I went through that healing and I was able to unlock that empathy in me, it was watching men that were close to me be scared to be vulnerable. Watching a man break down and cry and feel ashamed for crying, and not so much about what he was talking about. It was the fact that he was crying. It's because they're taught to suck it up and move on. So, you know, and I'm not excusing any of this, but what I'm saying is when we raise people to shove down emotion and hold it in and suck it up and man up, stick your chin out, put your chest out and deal with it, handle it, you run the risk of raising somebody who's full of toxicity and venom because they don't know how to release and they don't know how to. And it's the same thing for women.
yep. That's so true. And oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No, no,
off.
no. Go ahead, Fat Dom, and then Kristen, because Kristen been sitting up here patiently waiting. I don't know where mommy went, but mommy, you come back up if you free.
Yeah, I was patiently waiting too. I was like, I didn't want to just, jump in and be rude. Um, but I have two boys, 27 and 26. My oldest son is disabled. He's mentally delayed. He has post traumatic brain injury. But growing
Mm.
up, my kids only seen me with two men. Now, trust me, there was more. But because I felt that I was the primary caregiver, I had to raise them a certain way. So they did, when they became men, um, and started dating, they understood what it was to treat a woman. And, I remember taking them with me to work, and I used to work with seniors, and them telling my sons and what they do and how they fell in love with their mate or whatnot, and just hearing that. Now that my boys are men, even my son that's disabled, they treat women with the highest respect. They are so compassionate, so much loving. And my son, my disabled son, was talking to my sister, and she was trying to convince him because he's head over heels with this girl that's not good for him. And she takes all his money and she knows how to manipulate him. And what's sad is that now looking at the situation with Chrisean, and just knowing, I kind of like feel like maybe I just need to support my son and not judge him and be so angry about the situation, and hopefully that he'll learn, that this person is not good for him. But he told my sister, he was like, my mom lonely. She only been with two men, and because she was busy being a mother to us. And I was like, well, my job was done, but I succeeded. But all through my life, I have a friend that we've been friends for 28 years. Now, when I say almost every man she's been with put their hands on her, it took a long time in life for her to understand that's not what it took. And our friendship, I never was like, you should leave. I always used to be like, do you want my opinion, or do you want me just to listen and support you? And that was a really hard and tough thing to do. But witnessed a lot of DV with women, because we're mostly women in my family. I remember my cousin, hiding in a little part of the car, and while her fiance was driving around and doing all this kind of stuff, and then I seen him at the store. They was getting some cigarettes. She jumped out the car like Spider-Man on this man, and I was like, "What's going on?" I watched them fight. I watched my auntie fight with her men, and all that kind of stuff. I was just thinking, I can't go through that. And I did go through it, but I said, that's not me. I got up and I moved to another city just because I didn't know how to deal with it, because I didn't have like positive things around me.
Mm.
But I remember, and then my mom, because my mom never really raised us, but I remember her talking to me and telling me like, you better not be letting no man beat up on you, because we don't play that. And she said, you remember what happened with the. And I remember when she took me to the dentist, we walking through an alley taking a shortcut. This man just kept harassing her, talking about, you know you need to be on my time. And she was like, I'm with my daughter, just give me a second, I'm taking her home. And he
Mm.
didn't listen. My mom busted a bottle and cut that man. And just that replaying in my head, it just made me feel like, you know what, this I don't want to go through this. I don't want to do anything like that. I don't think it's fun or cute, but when I see Chrisean going through some of the things, I've seen similarities in my family, similarities in myself, similarities, in everything that's been around me. And to the point that I support her and have love for her, even though I don't know her. And I get angry because I've always been the one to get angry inside when somebody hurts somebody I care about. And I just be so mad when people treat her a certain way.
Um, did we lose her? I think we lost her.
Sorry, the what's name cut out. I'm sorry, but I was just saying, like, if somebody really cares about her and her well being, or even her son, that's not something that you just blurt out or make a post about, and or whatnot. You don't do that, because it doesn't. It's not helping. What it does is it makes the person more angry. It makes them be um, more shut in. And when they become like that, then nobody can penetrate that shell. And right now she's open like a blooming flower, I would say. And this is the time to just pour into her love. I remember her saying how her dad took her mom into the woods, tied her up and beat her, and made them watch. Just
Mm-hmm.
knowing that's something that she's seen, it makes you think like we can't be putting her through all this judgment and saying this and that. Now, you know what I'm saying? We see things going with her family, whatever, but it's all about us just praying about it. And that's my thing. I pray that she she separates herself from Blue, but he becomes a good man and take care of his kids, all of them, and treat them all the same. No one is greater than the other one. And I just hope that because it really, really, I see her being more happier. She looks better, everything when she's not with Blue. I'm just gonna be
Right.
honest. And she's more successful when she's not with him. That's the Lord pouring into her. Now, we can't make her see that. It's just going to be for her to see it and understand that she can have love for him, you know, and she could do for him but it's gonna have to be a time when she says, "I don't want to be with him," and she's saying that now. But we don't know. But it's not gonna stop me, from supporting her music,
Right.
supporting whatever, supporting her son, and praying for her family, and praying for even the the evil witch.
Now that's hard because I've told people you got to pray for. Listen, when you praying about this situation, for those of y'all who pray, you got to don't forget to pray for Carlissa, because you got to pray for your enemies.
And you got to bring out that olive oil, the blessed oil.
You got to pray for your enemies as well.
It,
It's
it,
easy to
it's
pray for people that we love.
mm-hmm.
It's hard to pray for people that you don't like or that
it,
have done you wrong. And trust me, I've seen the power of doing that. When you pray for people who have done you, I prayed for my baby daddy. I did. I prayed for him, and he was doing pretty good, but I guess he wasn't praying for himself. And I don't want to get into it, but those of y'all who know, y'all know how that story ended up going. That's
but
another story I
you
gotta
only
talk
could
about
do
one
so
day.
much, and I'm learning that myself. You only could do so much, because
Hmm.
like my mom abused me. She had 8 kids, 7 living. She never took care of any of us, and the things that she done to me would make Precious look like a cartoon. You know what I'm saying? But then in the end, when my mom had cancer, died at 53, right? I still had to bring her into my home, and we took care of her until her last day, because that's what she wanted. But that's because I was at a point of my life that said some things you have to let go, but not forget, but take it as a lesson. And that's what I did. But it's so, and I used to pray for her all the time, that I just wanted her to. But her giving up the drugs came at this sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, I really appreciate this platform. I appreciate the other people that support her, and I also pray for people that come against her, including her family, including, you know, Carlissa, or other people that think that she's not doing too much better. And I had a quick question, real quick. I haven't been seeing like Papa Blue post her too much. I hope that her relationship she had with the external people that was connected to Blue are not gonna be like, okay, well, we don't, you're not messing with him, so we not messing with you. I really hope that doesn't happen, and I hope somebody puts Jaden in her place while she's talking about victim card has been denied. She plays the victim all the time. Oh, I was going to my gender reveal, and I was doing this, and he did this and she did that. But I just want to tell people, when she do say all those things, remind her who what her best friend did.
Yeah, but you know what? Even with that, you sought an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth instead of seeking healing. So I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But thank you so much
I
for
appreciate you letting
sharing
me
that.
come
Of
up
course,
and
I
say
appreciate you as
whatever I got
well.
to say.
Yeah.
Even though I kind of forgot some of the things that went on my mind, but it's okay. I just, ask that
Listen,
you
there'll be another platform. Write it
continue
down.
to pray for me as I continue to pray for
As
everyone
of
else.
course. All
Have a
right,
good day.
girl. You
Bye
too.
bye.
Kristen, what's popping, girly?
Hey, um, I mainly, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I got on a different set of headsets right now, but I think one of the main reasons I started following her, supporting her, whatever you want to call it, and what bothers me the most is the judgment, like y'all were talking about, from women that's going through probably the same thing or worse. I mean, you know some of my story, but I've been with my husband since I was 15, and like her. Because I know what you mean when you say she hasn't aired him out like she could have, because I never did. I would get pissed off, maybe say a couple of things, but even my friends didn't even know the extent of some of the bullshit I was dealing with. And I mean, some of the same shit she was, maybe not. I don't know. Some ways he was as bad, in some ways he was better than Blue. So it just, we were both going through addiction, all kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wasn't until I done had my kids, got clean myself, that my mind changed like hers kind of did. Like, them kids, they really do. They make you think
Yes,
in a
they
different
do.
type of way. And the fact that people say, oh, her kid don't change her. Yes, they do.
Yes,
It changes your whole mind structure.
it really does. It really
Like,
does.
because when I didn't have my kids, it was fuck them kids. I mean, but now that I have them, it's just like I said, it changes your whole mind structure. And I probably went back 20, 30 damn times. I have packed my shit, and before I even made it out the door, we over there smoking and laid up in the bed together eating Chinese food. Suitcase still on the floor. Shit ain't went nowhere. Sit on the floor for 3 days, and I'm still living off the suitcase. So I know about the toxicness, but it wasn't until I had my child and he messed up really bad and almost affected me and my child, or did affect me and my child. And honestly, it took for that to happen where he almost lost us both, where he just had that click in his head. And I was hoping Blue, when he went to jail, would have that click for him, and he still could. That's what people don't understand. They like
You
somebody else said.
I'm not wishing it on him because I don't wish a rock bottom on nobody. But sometimes it takes for a person to hit a rock bottom, whatever that rock bottom looks like for them to realize what they lost, or for them to have that moment when they realize that they've been defeated. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, and we always go back to this movie, but remembering what's love got to do with it when she was getting ready to go out there and perform, and Ike showed up, pulled out the pistol. She said, "What you gonna do? Pistol with me? I got a room full of people that came to see me." And she
Mm-hmm.
got up, and I left some parts out, but she got up and walked down them stairs and was like, You seen the way he was looking at her? That
Mm-hmm.
was his moment to realize he lost power and control over her. She was no longer afraid. She was still going on about her business. There was nothing that he could do or say anymore. He couldn't terrorize, torment, or do anything to her anymore. And he lost it. And that's a moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's a moment that happens. But now, when I talk about a rock bottom, sometimes a person has to hit rock bottom to where they get into a situation or a jam, and that one person that would be there, everybody that's around them could be doing things, but they not doing it the way that one person is doing it. Or there's nobody there. And when they go to reach out for that one person is no longer there for them. That's a rock bottom. A rock bottom could be losing everything.
Yeah.
A rock bottom could be a struggle to get back, and she done already took off.
Yep. My
There's many.
husband's sitting in a cell, and I can't fool with you right now. I'm worried about my child. So you just got to sit there and wait and hope I get finished with this shit and enough time to come back to you or whatever you want to do. But he said it was sitting there, and we're on the outside, and he's just sitting there alone and realizing he could lose us both. And he's been clean ever since and doing right, good. And like I said, it does. Some people have to have that. I had to have that myself in another situation. I told you about that, and I'm not going to go into it. This is a long story, but it really does take realizing that you're going to lose it all to make you get your shit together. And sometimes you get your shit together too late. So we just got to see if it's going to be too late or if he's going to get his shit together later on down the line. But either way, it's the people that act like they're not going through the same thing. I watch these TikTok story times, and y'all do some crazier shit than I have ever heard of in my life.
I'm
And
trying
y'all would put
to.
social media like this shit ain't crazy, but then you go under the same comments under some of them other, we just say them other people, whatever, and act like she's just so ratchet and crazy and all this shit. Like y'all are being hypocrites, and that was my
Mhm.
whole.
Yep. Hey Dre, welcome up.
Hey everybody, I'm back.
Lick.
I just got off, y'all. Sorry, but I'm back.
So we watched Chrisean's interview with Sara Mia. I don't
Hmm.
know if you saw that. We watched that, and then now we're just chopping it up about the events of things that have happened from the weekend all the way up to now. And I mean, I know, you, Poppington, and Kristen are part of the panel normally on Fridays, and y'all jump on when y'all can in between. Um, we're basically just talking about the whole situation. But how did you feel about that whole Nick Jones thing?
I felt like the same way I put in his comments. I feel like you don't judge nobody when they on in the beginning of they walk, and I said they're like baby, like we're like brand new baby horses that's born. You know how you see ever seen a baby horse be born? Like they stagger, they fall, they it's like you're learning so much so that you have to sit down and take in the information and wait for your legs to get strong so you can get up and do what normal horses do. So that's basically the way I explained it to him and his comments, and me and him went back and forth for a little while, but it was what it was. And
You
he
went
said,
back
"Well,
and forth with Nick Jones? You wait a minute. Hold on. You
we
went
was back
back
and
and
forth for
forth
the
with
day he
Nick
did it.
Jones.
For the day he did it, he replied to the comment. He replied to the comment. I said, I'm a part of the church too, and I don't feel nothing wrong with what she's doing. I said, when you first started, I said, won't you turn your camera on and show your daily life and how many mistakes and curse words you may say or almost say. Matter of fact, you said it because it was in your heart, because it was in your mind to say, which means it was in your heart to come out. So don't go judging nobody when you accidentally make mistakes all day, every day.
And they say if it's in your head, then you still cussing, even if it didn't
Yeah,
come
it's
out
in
your
your
mouth.
heart.
That
Right, it's in
part.
your heart. God knows
Mm-mm-mm.
your heart. He don't judge you. He judges you based off of some of your actions, but he judges you based off of your heart. You don't make, you know what I'm saying? He knows if you're trying, if you're really trying, and if you're really trying to move forward with life. You know, he is not to be mocked nor manipulated.
That
So that's
part.
the way I feel with that part. And he said he apologized. He said he understand. He apologized. Maybe he was a little bit too hard. You ain't God. Nobody give it about your apology. You can take it and shove it.
Well, that uh, me and these
Dre, did you
hiccups,
tell
right?
him that?
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Dre
Did
said
you heard what I said? Did you tell that man that? Take that apology and shove it. Dre, why you silent?
Did you
Go tell
tell
the
that
man like
man to
you
take his apology and
would
shove it?
and
Did you
shove it.
tell
Did
him
you?
that?
I'm like, okay. I'm like Peter.
don't lie, don't lie.
He's
I'm
trying to
like
play
Peter.
like that. He got bad reception.
Oh yeah, I did have bad reception. Look, I'm like I tell everybody, I'm like Peter in the Bible. You take what you see is what you get, and I'll pray about it and apologize about it later. Thank you.
You acting like Carlissa, yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, what?
Oh, well,
Look, that's all you had to say.
Now, see, this is why as soon as you came up here, I said, he not about to jump in here and start talking about Lucifer and Carzilla. Nah, I want to know what you think about that Nick Jones, because I know for a fact Dre gonna go in.
Oh yeah, I done went over there on little Chris Brown. You know, it was what it was.
Now, you
Not
can't
too
be
much on
calling
Chris
him Chris
Brown.
Brown.
Yeah, not too
No,
much on Chris Brown.
no, he looked like Chris Brown.
No,
All
he
No,
right,
he
don't.
don't.
No, he don't.
he does.
No, he
No,
don't.
he don't.
He looked like a little brother or something, or big
No,
brother.
no, Dre. No.
No relation.
What? Y'all
Now,
don't
how
see it?
y'all gonna be in these comments encouraging him, talking about good job, good work, Dre? No, LaDonya, do not good works, Dre. No, Dre over
Yes,
there in
you
them
tell
people
him.
in
You
them
tell
people
him what it is.
backyard.
Tell
Telling
him
them
to
to
wait.
shove it.
Tell him to shove it. It's an apology. You ain't the Lord. Don't nobody care about your apology. Now you see how I feel to be rude. Be somebody to be rude to you. That's how you feel. All
That's
right.
why you got your disclaimer.
That's why you got
Somebody
the disclaimer.
CJ said fake Wayne's brother look-alike. I'm done.
Faith Wayne's brother look alike. Okay, with a little bit of Chris Brown on top.
Stop
Stop
saying
trying
that.
to put Breezy up in there. You know that we ride for
You gotta
Breezy.
see. I know. I'm not saying it negatively, but he just looks like him.
That's an
It's not
insult.
my
No,
fault.
he don't. He do not look like Breezy. He
A
looked
little
like a
bit,
light-skinned Marlon Wayans.
or maybe
I'm looking.
Oh, he
like Marlon
does.
Wayans. No, he looks
Look up
like Chris
Marlon,
Brown.
say cheese.
Hey, Hannah say, what I'm finna get ready to drop down. But you see,
Okay, Miss Pammy, go enjoy your sandwich because we about to
wait,
close
wait.
Hey,
out
Miss
the
Look,
video.
Perry.
these three that's up there with you. Girl, they be tearing me up in the comments, be saying, "Ooh, where Miss Pammy at? Miss Poppiton and Dre, and then Kristen over there."
Ooh, I didn't do it, Miss
Kristen,
Perry.
Who
yeah,
even
All
doing
I
I
used
that?
to be
said
up
is
here
that
with
you look
That
y'all,
like a
so
was
bad
Miss
dog
get
from
y'all
Mama.
for that.
All I ever said.
Because we be looking for you. We want to know where you at. If you not there, we want to know where you at and why you not there.
And they be putting everything on me. You just don't know,
Dre
Ooh.
puts everything on everybody but himself.
including
Exactly.
me
Okay.
and stuff.
I learned from Carlissa. I figured if she could do it, I could do it too.
See,
Oh
that's what he
Lord.
did.
Well, smooches.
All right, see you later, Miss Tammy. See, Dre, now that's what
You
you
made me
get
feel
for being over there watching all them hours of the Zilla files. Okay, she done rubbed off on you.
Nah, she didn't rub off on me. She ain't got. She no. Ain't nothing to rub on me. No, Lord Jesus. Mm-mm. Lord have mercy.
Yvette, what are you talking? Who are you talking about? I don't know who you're talking about or what you're talking about, but we was talking about Nick Jones. Are you talking about Nick Jones?
Okay.
Did you say Nick Jones?
Wait
First
a
and
minute.
foremost, let that man rest in peace.
Well, I'm gonna let him rest in peace because I'm not getting in trouble with the Lord. I talk about the living. Okay. There we go. I make my remarks to myself about what I see in the after about the afterlife, but I know I'm gonna get in trouble with the Lord. I know I will.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I got to put this up here. She said I should have watched the video first and did research. I done went and cussed out the white boy Nick Jones or whatever from the boy band. You cussed out Nick Jonas.
Jonas.
She done cussed out Jonas, brother.
I was like,
Oh
what the hell did I
Lord. Go erase the comment,
Lord,
girl.
Don't
do?
erase the comment. Abort the mission. Abort the mission.
mm-mm. I found him immediately. I said I wouldn't put in who reviewed her songs, and I seen him. I said, "Oh, hey you." Oh,
Oh,
Oh
Dre went on a
man.
witch hunt. Dre said, "Up, we were hunting rabbits." I'm gonna
we sure
find
Listen.
live.
Dre.
You don't bother beautiful Chrisean. No, you don't. You leave her alone.
Well, did you get a chance to watch the interview, Dre?
Oh, I'm on replay guy. You know me. But for the I've seen clips of it that was posted online, but I didn't get to watch it. But I'm on replay game. You know me and my medicine, we finna become real good friends and acquainted with my little double cheeseburger and fries, and then we finna go watch the mini. You know how
Well,
we do. And
Henny
we
is
finna go see
actually,
some.
I'm about to do something that I never do. And I thought the day was going to blend with my vibe, but it went from raining to the sun coming out, bipolar Florida weather. Um, I'm actually going to end this live. I'm supposed to be recording a live for y'all, but I might just go live. I'm recording a video, but I might just go live later. I've been doing good. I've been doing my morning coffee, spiked coffee in the mornings. We was a little late this morning, and we on it with this media showdown. Being a daily thing. Now I've got to incorporate my other channels as well into my routine. But today, Kenny is going to have some lunch, and I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to take me a nap. I ain't had a good nap in a long. Y'all know I used to love my naps. Y'all used to have to call me to wake me up to tell me that there was some stuff going down because Henny would be sleeping. Henny is tired. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
go take a nap, and whenever I wake up, that's when I'll do the next video. But in the meantime, I need a nap today. That's what my body is saying. I'm yawning, my body hungry and tired. We's tired, Lord.
I am
So
too,
y'all got a
Henny.
coffee to go watch if you ain't watched it over on Hennessy Reviews. You know, I reran Wax Prison Record being exposed. Again, shout out to Diamond. And then y'all got y'all a media showdown. In the beginning of this video is where you will find the interview review. And then, you know, we got the panel. Thank you for everybody that came up and participated in today's open panel. Tomorrow it will be a quick little dose of some straight Henny media because we will be going members live on Hennessy Reviews. So now there, I've said that out loud. But thank you everybody that came up. Let's just do it in true media showdown fashion. Final thoughts.
Who me?
Go ahead, Dre.
My final thoughts is I think she's on her major journey. She's doing an amazing job. A lot of like the Lord said, He'll make your enemies become your footstool, and even make them be at peace with you. So that's what we at right now. We just in that season of things, and I'm looking forward to see what she do next. I hope she continue her journey and don't let nobody stop her journey. And look, Trust, you better get off my tail. I'm not playing here, y'all. I'm sorry, Eddie, but yeah, that's and I felt like, and I'm gonna go watch the interview, but I'm pretty sure it was
Did you
a
say
wonderful
truck?
interview.
Wait a minute. Did you say, look, truck, get off my tail?
Yes,
Dre, don't be
she
out
was
there playing with them trucks. That might be Mama Zay. Mama Zay, is that you? Is that you behind Dre? Blow
trying
your
to
horn at him,
mow
girl.
me down, just trying to mow me down. I said, what is going on? They're trying to just take my life off the road. But I didn't move. I'm in safety. but
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me just yes, absolutely. Chuck, we all need to learn how to
mhm,
treat one another. Okay, we
mhm.
all need to learn how to treat one another. It's not just a one party thing, it's not just a gender thing or a sex thing. It is a people thing. And we all need to learn to be compassionate and love one another and learn how to love in different ways that we were taught than we were taught. But go
Hi,
ahead,
Kitty.
Jay.
Hi, Kitty. That's somebody cat. Yeah, I just feel like after I'm gonna go back and watch the interview just based off the little clips I've seen. I feel like it's a pretty good interview. She's learning. She's maturing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to see more to come, even from Blue. Well, Jonathan, I'm looking to see what he got going on, and
I'm not.
if he on his bullish, we could blackball him the same way we did his mammy, so he could take it and let that resonate where it resonates. It's all on him. You owe people money. We don't. You can come out here and be a good Jonathan Porter and make your money and pay your debts, or otherwise we could blackball you like we did your mama. We got the pull now, sir. Not you and your bottom feeders and your blue notes. But
Dre
other
said
than
we
that,
got the juice.
okay, you ain't got no juice, no juice, like Boosie say, no juice. But other
Lord
than that,
have mercy.
I mean,
Sorry, y'all.
life is good. Life is good. Life is great. And
Absolutely.
we gonna see how this rock out for her. And until next time.
All right, Dre. Kirsten.
I think my only final thought is gonna be to everybody. I know one of the things I dealt with and what made me keep falling was seeing people constantly tell you you're gonna fail. So when
Mm,
some of y'all haters get in this comment section and y'all are saying this, think about your one comment could be the one that causes her to just say, "Hell with it, might as well do it anyways." Just have some grace for people. That's all I'm gonna say.
absolutely. Poppington.
Well, I
Listen,
agree with
don't you
what?
start your mess.
I was just gonna say that I agree with with Dre. Blue. It's all on you when you come out. I hope you know that. We love and support her. So if she like it, we gonna love it. And I be wanting to disrespect you, but I don't because of her. And you should be happy about that because you would have a lot of hate pages if she didn't love
Hmm.
you.
I would be captain of the blue face hate train.
Yes.
Because
But
listen,
if you
this
come out
channel
looking,
can take a dark turn at any point in time.
all she got to do was give us the green light, and
Like,
I'm just,
woo, and we
I'm just saying. But yeah, you could either come home as Blueface, and like Dre said, she has the juice. I just want your mama, Moniece with her unstable mental self, that fake prophet over there on the YouTube, um, three finger booty shooter, pee pee licker lips. Um, who else there's something about? Soldier Boy. I just want
Mr.
all of y'all to
Thorough.
know. Oh, Vlad, all of y'all. I want all of y'all to know. Um, if y'all don't say her name, you don't get fame because she's the
mm,
clown. I just want y'all to know that. I'm gonna reiterate this for you, Carlissa. Your daughter, one season. Your daughter-in-law, one season. You, one season. Your son, one major platinum song. Go sit down. Fix your relationship with your husband, your kids, and your stepkids. Because when you're old and crippled, they're going to put you in a home and not take care of you. Because that's what I would do if you was my mama.
Well,
Okay?
Pop, they gonna come and get you. That
I
was
don't.
that was the opinion of Pop
can
because
we
you
get the
said
Oh,
15
disclaimer
on
you
uniquely,
YouTube.
please?
yeah. Put this up. Put this up. Put
Yeah,
the
because you
disclaimer.
said they're gonna make friends with all the children. Mm,
Listen, I ain't get. I missed yesterday because my kids tried to take me out. But anyway, um, I'm I'm just speaking facts. Like
He said she had to get all that shit out. It was pent up from
you're
yesterday.
talking about Blue. Blue gave them clout. No, Blue jumped on there to save his clout. Your
Blue was
son
Hmm.
riding the
messed
bus with
up.
Chrisean fans.
Like I
Your
said,
Y'all
I
son
know
thought
that.
messed
she
up.
needed
It's
to
not
do that song.
Krishan's fault. It's not Krishan's fault. It's not Krishan's fault. And even if it is some of her fault, your son still has 50-50 stake in that.
No, but he was getting ready to be on the bus when she first came. I don't know where everybody keep getting all this notion that he was just rich, rich, rich after Tatiana. It was not that easy. That's why he was doing OnlyFans.
But
Blue
that's
was
what I'm
rich.
saying. That's what I'm saying. This girl sat. How many times Krishan done sat down since she had Krishan Jesus? This is the second time. You
Yep.
pop out, you're still hitting million view streams. You understand what I'm saying? Like her star is bigger than his.
Mhm.
And not for nothing, no offense, Dre, but sometimes men's egos won't
Mhm.
allow their woman to shine brighter than them. You
Because
know
he
who
was
I'm
in contact.
loving?
That's the
You know
truth.
how I'm loving? And people think he's a simp, and he's not a simp because he's a New York corner boy from Harlem. ASAP Rocky, Rihanna's a billionaire. She's a billionaire. And when they asked
Yeah.
him, and when they asked him how he feel about her, you know what he said? That's my nigga. She holds me down. I love her. What's wrong
But
with supporting your girl? And he still does like he still does his own thing. And I think that if once Blue can get over that, then maybe things could be better.
don't ASAP Rocky got like both parents?
No.
No one.
Well, he
Well, at
has
least
both parents, but they're not like they wasn't together in the house.
right. But I'm saying they were still both parents now. Carlissa ain't no parent. Papa Blue, I mean, right now I'm side eyeing you, but you can't make him do nothing. But I mean, at least say something to them. But I mean, other than that, you know, I feel that ASAP was raised better. He was raised better. You could tell he was raised better. He has morals and respect. He has boundaries. He has things that you cannot disrespect type, if that makes sense. Blue don't care what you disrespect
Well,
everything. Just give him the money. Give
well,
him the money.
maybe you are right because Blue shows a lot of characteristics of Carlissa. He does.
Mhm. Mhm.
They're one and the same with a lot of things. Their vindictive ways, how low to hell they can go, the fake apologies. They
Mhm.
have a lot in common.
His
I
mother's
agree.
son.
Mother spawn.
Well,
I'm
A
sorry,
third.
honey.
yeah, listen, I ain't got no final thought because y'all done said everything. But what I will do is piggyback off of what Poppington said, that when a man is jealous of you, they will sabotage you. Because before I ever published my first book, I had typed it all out on my computer. And my ex went into my computer and deleted my whole manuscript.
What?
The computer.
See?
And swore he didn't do it, tried to blame it on the kids. But he hated on me writing because I wrote erotic erotic books, and he hated on it. And anytime I began to start a project, something would happen. Even when I had a flash drive, he mysteriously, because it was on my keychain, he had to take my keys one day, and mysteriously my keys went down the sewer. Mysteriously, my flash drive stopped working. Mysteriously, my flash drive got wet and nobody knew how. It was always some type of sabotage that went there. Or I used to have, I don't know if y'all remember Blog Talk Radio. I had a Blog Talk Radio podcast that I was doing, and I was doing really good at it. I even had my own website before things became the way they are now. I had my own website. I had people all over the world that was following and all that. We're talking what, back in the early 2000s. And every time it was time for me to do my Blog Talk show, those days, for whatever reason, the babies, because remember, Emo and Apple Juice, they were little. So Emo and Apple Juice, for whatever reason, they would be wired and up. And my show was an adult show, so it went on at 11 o'clock at night, and they were supposed to be asleep. I couldn't get them to sleep. They were wired up. Well, come to find out is because he would allow them to sleep all day on those days. So they would be up all night, and I couldn't focus on my show. And eventually
Damn,
I had
that's
to stop. So the sabotage be real. So when we think about sabotage, we got to think there is no depth that they are not willing to go to try to sabotage. And that's something that, we have to be alert and be on the lookout for. I'm definitely going to call out every sabotage that I see that goes on. I don't even care if it's a far stretch. I'm going to. Because we
Okay,
know
and
that may be something that he tries to do. I'm hoping that in these next couple of months, God reaches down in that cell and whispers something in his ear and shakes his spirit up and gets him on the up and up. Because you have to also remember, Chrisean's been reading that Bible to him while he's been in jail. She's been praying with him and for him. So there's seeds that have been sown down in him. Now, what happens to those seeds is on him. But just remember this, even if a seed must sprout and something must wither and die, the seed must still sprout something. So let's see what happens. But
I also
anyway.
wanted to say to you,
Mhm,
Henny, because you was talking about sabotage.
mhm.
It's a You can sabotage your partner, or you can self sabotage your relationship because you are jealous of the individual,
Yeah.
and you can self sabotage. You know they're not gonna go for what you're doing.
Yep.
You know they're not gonna put up with none of it. So you self sabotage. You was doing so great at first, then you self sabotage. So this person can view you differently, so they won't love you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a self sabotage.
That's true. He could be scared to be loved properly. Who knows?
hmm I
But
got
I
friends
want
that
to,
do it.
huh?
I got partners that do it all the time. They don't want to be loved. They tell you don't love me.
Well, I want to say thank y'all for popping up on here at this impromptu. For y'all, it's impromptu. I want to take a minute to thank Sandwich Girl for her super sticker and thank Miss Pammy for her super sticker as well. Thank y'all for tapping in and tuning in. As y'all can tell, my computer is about to die because we have definitely drained my battery. But it's been wonderful up here talking to y'all. I will see y'all again tomorrow for Media Showdown at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Spiked Coffee in the Morning with Henny over on Hennessy Reviews at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In the meantime and in between time, love is always love. Continue to vibe high for the rest of your day. I love y'all. Thank y'all for the support, and we out. Peace, y'all.